Good afternoon. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Mike Christensen. I have lived in Las Vegas for 18 months, and I live in the Somerset community in which my wife and I moved into in March of this year.
Well, welcome. So Mike, please describe for us why you would like to be on the board of directors for the Master Homeowners Association.
Well, regardless of what I've been involved in, whether it be my religious views or community views, I've always liked to at least get my voice heard. But I believe that things only happen when you get involved. And I have been successful at that in many ways and in a number of different areas. And this is just one of them. A home is a major investment. For most of us, it's the biggest investment we'll make. And I want to ensure that what has been started in this community is maintained and that well into the future.
What do you see as a priority for the incoming board?
Well, I think to maintain the direction that's been started, that's why I moved here, because I like the way things were. I want to be able to maintain it, but also have forward thinking or utilize forward thinking in a way that we can make better use of the resources and make sure that we are completely using the resources of the management company who are experts at this. That they're not only looking at it from our little community, a master association, but on many of them throughout the country. I think that many times that when the owners take over, there's a lot of individual ideas, and we have to make sure that our vision is consistent with why we moved here and just try to make it better without a lot of change.
Thank you. So please, please describe your skills, your experiences that would be of benefit to the overall success of the Master Association.
Well, I think one is creativity. I think that I'm pretty creative, and when I say creative, I mean being able to work with other individuals. In my business, I work with a number of different types of very strong personalities. Yet it's important to understand what your goals and your objectives are, the direction you want to head, maintain that course. So I think I'm very good at being able to manage those personalities for the right purpose and the right mission that was previously decided upon. I have a history. I've ran a number of businesses. The one I'm most proud of is I was able to take a major distribution company from a negative pre-tax position to a positive one in 9 months.
Wow.
Without cutting jobs, but through being able to find a way to utilize our help a little bit better and more efficiently. And I think that that financial background will help me considerable. When you consider the role that the board plays in fiscal responsibility, that we have a pretty large budget when you consider the overall funds that come into it, and being able to manage them and treat that like it's coming out of our own wallet is very important in trying to drive that.
Wonderful. What is your long-term and short-term vision for the Master Association?
Well, this kind of stumped me at first because I don't believe in change for change. And I don't want to come in and say I want to make a lot of change, because I don't really know what all the problems might be, if there are any problems. So I think the first thing to do is to understand what is our current situation and get a true visibility of that, find where those gaps are, and then successfully build action plans that will resolve them. Now, as I've talked about before, I think we need to have great diversity in our community. And when I talk about diversity, I think not only in different individuals, but also in the ages. We have a lot of young people here. It's a great community for that. But we also have a growing number of people that don't have any children in the home. And how do we manage this and balance our activities and that diversity that we're driving throughout the whole community?
Okay, so please share with us some strengths and weaknesses related to the board position in regard to leadership.
Well, I think from a leadership perspective, first off, I am a consultant for leadership training, and so I've traveled the world teaching the right leadership strengths, I think, and certainly the behaviors that drive decision making and achieving one's goals and staying the course. So that's a strength. I think from a weakness perspective is that I'm not real flexible in changing the direction we want to head. That many times we find people that want to go different directions that aren't relative to our end result, and so I can be looked at as a little stern when it comes to this is our path, we'll stay our path, and when we've reached that, I'm happy to rethink our next step, if you will. from a leadership perspective.
Right, and you did speak already in regard to financials and understanding and taking a business from negative to positive, of course, in a short period of time. Is there anything more that you'd like to add in regard to maybe your weaknesses in financial understanding, if any?
No, I think that I have a very good understanding of budgets, setting the right budget, maintaining the budget, evaluating your budget. I think that there's probably an opportunity within the community to be able to have greater, open the books a little bit more and at least allow people to look at our expenditures, where our budget might be heading or what we need to do with our funding. But overall, the understanding of a balance sheet and being able to talk about P&Ls and so forth are just a natural part of the business. I think it's the forward thinking to understand that what are we going to do and what are we going to protect. And I think it's very important that that protection side is well managed. Just because it's there, we need to make sure that it's there for the right purpose.
Right. And give us any strengths or weaknesses you may have in regard to architectural guidelines or design review.
Well, my strength for that is just saying that looks nice.
Okay.
Now, from behind it, I have no clue at how to pour concrete or what a wall's supposed to look like or what the right way to build it. That's not my gig, and so I'm hopeful that there's somebody that can provide that type of direction. But I certainly want to maintain the look of our master community, and that's the easy part. Somebody else has all that knowledge to make sure it's done correctly.
And finally, how do you feel in regards to strengths and weaknesses for the social lifestyle, the culture of the community?
Well, I think that I'm actually in pretty good shape. I'm in the social business, so I think from dealing with all the different generations, from the radio agers to the millennials, that we want to create that type of environment. And I think that through social media, that there are just so many things that we can do to get that message out and give them a voice. Again, one of the things I really want to focus on is giving that voice, that equality of voice throughout our whole community, so we're not running this from a very 1% of the vocal minority, if you will.
Briefly describe for us one aspect of the Master Association's programs that you would do differently and why.
Well, I have to defer to, I haven't really seen a problem with the way you're doing things. And I think that maybe upon a deeper dive or pulling back the covers a little bit and seeing if there's some issues, I would be willing to make a decision at that point. But right now, again, I don't believe in change for change. So if you're looking for or asking the question of what I'd come in and change, I just don't see a problem. I think that the current leadership has done a very good job with it. Certainly there's always the issue of communication, but the owners have a responsibility in finding out information as well. And I think one of the biggest challenges we have in boards, homeowners associations, is that for some reason the owners get mad when they don't know, yet there seems to have always been a way for them to be notified if they care. So it has to start, it's a 50-50 experience. I have a 50% experience as a board to provide that information, and the owner has a 50% responsibility to go out and find that information and utilize it.
Great. Finally, in the last minute, do you have anything additional that you'd like to add?
Well, my ad is this. I'm not looking for a lot of change. I moved into this area because I love the area. I love the look. I love that I can pull off of a Hualapai and feel like I'm at home, not in the middle of some desert. And I want to be able to maintain that. I feel safe here. My wife feels safe here. And I want to ensure that that continues to be the feeling that all of our community has.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
You bet.